प्रिय श्रोता बंधु 90.4 मेगाहर्ज रे आपण माने सुनुछंती रेवेन्सा रेडियो ओडिसा रा प्रथम कैंपस कम्युनिटी रेडियो स्टेशन।
Good afternoon, Katak. It's your RJ Saloni.
RJ Mayank.
You are listening to Ravenshaw Radio 90.4 FM. India, as the youngest nation in the world, the overall population was one of the largest consumer base in the world. For every unique need of every segment of population, there is opportunity of new venture. Our infrastructure, healthcare, education system are in dire need of upgradation, where startup can make huge difference. In last 2 to 3 years, there has been increase in startups in versatile areas like food delivery, consultancy, e-commerce, medical services, services like fitness among others. On an average, 800 startups are born every year. Startup India encourages to boost entrepreneurship with job creation. More creative ideas are brought up, so many promotional advertisements are shown to promote startups. So now, the topic of our discussion is Startup in India helps to boost entrepreneurship. To gain more knowledge on this topic, we have a guest of honor, Dr. Sandeepan Banarjee, who is Assistant Professor of SKCG Autonomous College and former faculty of Department of Management, Ravenshaw University. Sir, we welcome you to Ravenshaw Radio.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Sir, to be more friendly, we will first ask you some liberal questions like, what do you think of Startup India scheme?
Okay, first let me convey my best wishes of the afternoon to all our audience.
Thank you, sir.
Everybody knows about passion, isn't it? Passion is a very strong emotion, and every individual is passionate about something or the other in his life. If this energy of passion is channelized productively or effectively, then one can produce magical results. One such concept is passion for entrepreneurship. Many individuals follow their passion to set up a business unit. However, setting up a business unit and running it smoothly is a difficult job. One must know about the interrelated complex processes involved in a business ecosystem to run it smoothly. During these processes, there is an interaction of numerous factors. One such factor is knowledge about schemes and support system available to entrepreneurs from the government end. In this note, Startup India is a flagship initiative of the Government of India, intended to build a strong ecosystem for nurturing entrepreneurial innovation in India. This Startup India aims to channelize the efforts of such passionate individual by paving a roadmap for achieving the desired results, that is a successful business undertaking. To round up, I must say that passion produces innovation. The government is trying to support this entrepreneurial innovation by providing supportive atmosphere or factors of every kind, which is nothing but Startup India, a flagship program.
Okay, sir. Sir, now we will move on to next question. That is, why Startup India came at the first place? What was the need of it?
Okay, the question is why? Why Startup India? The government rolled it up to answer the following questions. One, let us say we need to understand that there is a huge rate of unemployment in India. People with formal education, that to highest formal education, are unable to find a suitable job for themselves. It makes the situation more pathetic that there is also a high scale of disguised employment in many spheres. There is also a problem of underemployment. This is one thing, and the other thing is brilliant minds of Indian soil are migrating to foreign land like America, Canada, and countries like that, only to find and fulfill their aspirations. So we need to recognize that there is a brain drain as well. This means India, which is positioned as a favorable spot in world economy for having the majority of its population in a young age, now faces a paradox. This paradox is smart people are leaving the country and mediocre are not able to find a means of livelihood, in spite of good formal education and other ancillary achievements. So to promote startups in the country, Startup India shall play a leading role. It shall drive sustainable economic growth and generate large-scale employment opportunities. Technically speaking, this is an umbrella under which various schemes and benefits are made available to entrepreneurs to support their startups. To some extent, it may be called as a hand-holding initiative of the government to promote entrepreneurship in India. This will not only solve the problem of unemployment, but also boost the Indian economy vis-a-vis the world economy and place India in the forefront. So I think this is the reason why we have Startup India rolling up.
Sir, our next question is, how Startup India is beneficial when there are already so many vacancies pending in the government job? If people get employed, their problem of unemployment can be greatly reduced. Please comment, sir.
अच्छे दिन आएंगे, जरूर आएंगे. This is something we have been hearing for a long time. In 2019, Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji envisioned to make India a 5 trillion economy and global powerhouse by 2024. I know there is the problem of unemployment, we discussed that, but this unemployment problem can be solved by creating jobs. An entrepreneur can find himself in a self-employed position and he can create jobs for others. So if we have to achieve Achhe Din, then we are looking forward to entrepreneurship. We are now around a 3.3 trillion economy. It is not such a difficult target to reach a 5 trillion economy and to supersede supersede other economic powers of the world. But in order to achieve that, we need to promote our businesses and our business systems. Thinking other way, if more and more people find new ways and means of having a livelihood by setting up their own business unit, whether small or big, we will achieve our goal of having Achhe Din. I am sure we will be adding more to our GDP. In this juncture, this flagship program, I believe, is an umbrella for one-stop solution.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So, as we know, in every business, funding is very basic thing in entrepreneurial need. The funding which is given support to the concept of startup, is it enough? What do you think, sir?
I will just highlight briefly about funding, then I'll come to answer your question. There has been different sources of funding, domestic, international, and there are different avenues of funding. Funding has never been a problem for people with good and brilliant ideas. To tell you about a few funding support and initiatives, I will say that central government is providing funding through this program, a corpus of 10,000 INR crore. So I think this is a lot of money that can be utilized to promote entrepreneurship avenues in the country. Moreover, there are credit guarantee fund for startups. Besides, the Income Tax Act is also giving tax exemptions on capital gains. Moreover, we also have tax exemption to startup for 3 years, which is, I believe, a tax holiday kind of thing. So this will also boost up young entrepreneurial talents to pursue their passion for setting up their own businesses for the greater good of the economy. Besides, we also have tax exemption investments above on fair market value. It is a highly technical thing. So we have different options of funding which can be utilized by young talents who are listening to our program this evening. So I believe, in my own perception, I will share my own experience. I am a consultant to many business organizations. I don't feel that funding is a mandatory requirement. You don't need funds to be an entrepreneur in the 21st century. You only need to leverage people, processes, and systems to get some good economic output, that is profit. Leverage means taking advantage of an opportunities. To say in Odia, it means we have if I tell you in Odia, then समय और सुजोगर सदुपयोग करिबा हैला एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप. एई जिंस जे करि पारे से निश्चय सक्सेसफुल हबो और आगामी दिन रे अच्छे दिन जो स्वप्न रहिछि ताकू पूर्ण करिबा पई से सक्षम हेई परिबो. So I believe that we have to leverage things. चीजों का फायदा उठाना है, that is leverage. And once we take advantage of opportunities of people and processes in a good way, it is not exploitation, let me just put it in brackets. So then we can be a successful entrepreneur. Funding is not a bottleneck these days. You will find ample aspects of funding from different kinds of investors, like angel investors, you have seed fund investors, you have venture capitalists, you have banks, you have other various agencies which will fund your project. Once the idea is good and it is executable and it is feasible, then funding is not a limitation for an entrepreneur.
So, sir, what is the viability of startup business? Because after a short time, startup collapses. How can we ensure the viability?
Okay, I will answer this question with an example. I will give a small example, and I believe our youngsters will also uh, take it up in a very enlightened manner. If I talk about fitness experts, if you go and have a search in Google regarding fitness experts, there are plenty of fitness experts, n number of fitness experts in the market. So everybody is a fitness expert these days. But you as a fitness expert, what you may do to promote your startup? I will just suggest in this case, suppose you are a fitness expert and you specialize yourself and you concentrate on one thing, that is you are a fitness expert for women post pregnancy to reduce their complications and to maintain their weight. You provide consultation. Thus you can micro specialize that you are a fitness expert in post pregnancy for women, and that too for weight loss. So you in if you your clients by this process will know that you are a micro specialist, and anybody who is not sure where to go and find a fitness expert will come to you because they know their problem and they know the solution that you are offering. So here an entrepreneur is having a problem solving approach. So regarding viability, startups are failing because of three reasons, 2 or 3 reasons that I would say. People are looking after quick money. Everybody these days want to have a startup and everybody wants to make a million dollar. They want to become a crorepati, okay, multi crorepati. So this sapna of Achhe Din is a limited sapna. We have to go for a long term sapna. Achhe Din has to be for a long time. For to have a long time good day or good days or good years for time to come, you need to do a lot of research. People before setting up their entrepreneurial unit do not do research on various aspects. You have to have a research on finance, on production, you have to make a blueprint of marketing and all those processes which are required to put a business system into place and to rotate it smoothly. So this is one thing that I would say. The other thing is they are looking for quick money, which is the second thing. And the third thing that I pointed out in my very initially I pointed it out, that passion. People are lacking passion these days. They are not following their actual passion. They are thinking in a very short term manner for a say for a 1 or 2 period. They have to make a 5-year plan and they have to execute that plan in a better manner. I will give you a solution for this. The solution is, if you need viability in your life and your business, you have to have 3 C's in your life. And these 3 C's are common sense, courage and commitment. And I must say that courage, common sense and commitment is not very common. Common sense is not very common these days, we know. On a lighter note, once you have common sense, your life will be set right, and once you have common sense, your business will also be set right. Once you are through with common sense, you need to work on your courage. People don't have that courage to set up the unit. Very brilliant minds, they are looking for a job, they are not upgrading their skills. So once you have the 21st century skills, then definitely you will set up a good business unit, good startup, and you will see Achhe Din in time to come. Okay, and commitment is most important. You have to be committed to your business and your life.
Definitely, sir. You stated a good example of having the clarity of what the consumer wants. So, now moving to our next question. The startup business faces the problem of red tapeism. How can it be minimized or avoided?
Okay, I do agree that there exists red tapeism in the system. We have been dragged into sluggishness when it comes to life, business systems, and the output from the bureaucracy. Though it is a problem, people, but I try to see it in a I would try to see it in the other way. Red tapeism, definitely yes, it is there, but we have to overcome. If you are an entrepreneur, then you should not look behind. You have to look within and find ways how to get ahead with it. One or two solutions that I may provide to you is that reforming rigid laws and reducing administrative burden may bring more transparency in the system of compliance, and this will eventually reduce red tapeism in the system. Besides, we have also observed, in my experience, I have seen various motivational seminars and workshops have been arranged at various levels to develop understanding and collaboration among different ministries to strengthen the business ecosystem. Besides, the government is also slowly trying to migrate to the digital system from the physical system. I am sure one day or the other this is going to end the process of red tapeism. At the end of the day, I must say that we are working with people, we are working with processes and systems. We need to understand that people have emotions, and emotions have to be understood. Here, entrepreneur is a person who will understand everything and will set right everything correctly so that he gets the desired output. So I believe there is solution to red tapeism. It is not a hindrance to entrepreneurial competence.
So, sir, our next question is, as we all know that every business has a risk factor in it, the success rate of every startup business is not guaranteed. So, how a company can wind up successfully and how much time it will take?
Okay, it is a very technical question regarding winding up. People who are brilliant mind, they have never thought of winding up there, but there are certain catastrophes which may happen and it may result into winding up a business unit. But if I am very passionate about my business, then I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up with my idea. That will sufficient for me to ensure that I don't have to lose on my idea on my business unit. However, there have been different knobs. If I talk about IBC has been having stricter norms now. That earlier there was it would take a long period of time to wind up organizations which are in the corporate fold. But now there has been solution to it. There has been exit of 90 days to startups under this program, so which will ensure that entrepreneurs who are facing difficulty in the early phase, they have been given a chance to quit from their race, and fast track resolution of cases. By cases I mean those cases of winding up, because I would like to give a background over here that when we talk about winding up only in case of company form of organization or corporate form of organization. In corporate form of organization, there are different players, there are different stakeholders, so winding up is not an easy job. It is not at all easy job, but we can go for a fast track resolution of cases, and this is promised by IBC. So I think that this will ensure that units which face problem in initially will have the option to wind up and will have the option to liquidate at a very early point of time. So this will also ensure that many people who are afraid of winding up and a long period of time being committed, they will be assured about this. So I feel this will be the solution to your question.
Thank you, sir. Dear listeners, as sir said, problems are there in every step of our life. So in the business, having a positive attitude is all we need to overcome the hardship situation. Sir, now I will ask you, what is the role of insolvency and bankruptcy code in startup mechanism?
As I pointed out in my earlier answer, that IBC, Insolvency and Banking Code, has been strengthened more and more. We have also the credit guarantee scheme, which also gives guarantee in certain spheres. All these laws have been strengthened in the in the later phase of the this decade, only to ensure that business systems are adequately processing. Besides, I would say that if there is a business, then there is risk associated with it, but an entrepreneur has to be a competent person who will manage all these risks, who will mitigate the risk associated. We cannot entirely reduce the risk, but we can keep it at a calculated position. We can take calculated risk and try to mitigate it to the extent possible, so that businesses will be fruitful in the future point of time. Herein, IBC will give fast track resolution of cases, and I believe even SEBI and other agencies will also pitch in and try to help in one way or the other.
Yes, sir. Sir, what ethics should a entrepreneur should carry in startup business, or how he can promote his business ethically?
Okay, India is a land of ethics, if I put it, and ethics started from Mahabharata. If we go back to the texts, but coming in a contemporary sphere, I believe that people or the young age should focus more on ethical values. We are very rich in our culture and in our ethics. This is incorporated in at a very young age, and I believe we are ethical. We are already, this ethics is taken care of by our mothers in our initial primary schooling. So everything is ethical in our atmosphere. I don't believe that there is some kind of a skepticism regarding ethics. But when it comes to money, certain people are forget their ethics at a different point of time. So as Vivekananda says, if we look within and if we look around, then definitely we will realize our ethical values. And if we as an entrepreneur realize this ethical value, ethical behavior, definitely our business processes and business systems will be ethical. So I know there has been little issues in the Indian diaspora regarding ethics, but young generation like you people and others who are listening to us will have learnt lessons from this, and they will be more ethical, and they will look ahead for a long term vision, which will not only ensure that they are successful in their personal life but also in their professional life. So ethics, definitely, to tell you about, technically speaking, there was a ethical study which was conducted by Kellogg School of Management. They did a survey on that, and they found out that ethics is compromised in the initial part of startups only because more and more people are trying to make $1 billion out of a startup. They are lacking that research. But there is a dark side of entrepreneurship in that case. There is a dark side as well as a downside and the destructive side. We have to take care of it, and this can be taken care of by enhancing our spirituality. We already have intellectuality. We know how to manage our emotional sphere or emotional factors. Like, if I put it in technical terms, we know how to manage our IQ and we know how to manage our EQ. Only thing we are lacking is our SQ, spiritual quotient. So if you have more of seminars on corporate spiritual quotients, definitely ethics will be there. And we should find, I would suggest we should go through the Bhagavad Gita, which definitely was written at certain point of time, where all the questions which a person may ask in his lifetime is answered. And the Holy Gita answers in a different dimension. So I believe if you read that book, which is also a mandatory requirement if you are studying in one of the top tier organizations of schools of management, I will leave it for your research and to know. If you are through the interview process, then they tell you to read the Gita and come. They will post questions on Gita. If A and B are two similar competents, then if A answers the questions from the Gita, then A is given a chance. Why this is done in that school of management? Only to promote spiritual quotient. Because once you are spiritually fulfilled, you know the be all and end all of all things, you will not be unethical. So this is what I feel, my personal opinion.
Thank you very much, sir, for giving your precious time and to enlighten us, for sharing your valuable thoughts with us. I hope our listeners gain enough information and put that knowledge in their life and achieve their goal. And thank you all listeners to keep on listening to 90.4 FM Ravenshaw Radio. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
जी हाँ दोस्तों, आप सुन रहे हैं 90.4 FM रेवेंसा रेडियो, उड़ीसा का पहला कैंपस कम्युनिटी रेडियो स्टेशन।